How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What is up, Will?
What up, what up?
Welcome, everybody, to Story of the Fight. My name is Mero. That's my boy, Will, and this is where we talk all things combat sports. Today, we'll be covering UFC 305. Now, this one, we always mess around, like the much anticipated 305. There's people looking forward to this one.
There was some heat on this one.
There was some heat on this one. But before we get into it, just want to remind everybody, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. We're trying to reach 15,000 subscribers. We just broke 14,000 not that long ago. We keep on climbing. But if you don't like watching on YouTube and you like listening, there's other ways as well.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts. We're also on Twitch, streaming on Twitter as well. At Story of the Fight on everything. Go to storyofthefight.com. It'll list all our socials: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, YouTube. Story of the Fight. Story of the Fight everywhere.
Yeah. If you can't find us, you're not trying hard enough. It's really easy.
And you don't want to find us. And we don't want you.
Yeah. Dang, dude took it personal.
No.
All right, but yeah, hey, UFC 305. Let's go and get right into it. We had Israel Adesanya versus Dricus Du Plessis, man. Let's talk about the drama leading up to this. Wait. What'd you score this card?
Yeah, if we're gonna rate the card, I would honestly say this was a solid card. I think this was probably like a 8.4.
Okay.
8.4.
I think that's fair. I'm going like maybe an 8.1, really close.
Yeah.
For me, but it was a good card for sure. And again, you know me, like the last cards we went through and we talked about, one of the very first things I talk about is star power, right?
Yeah.
I love me some star power on the cards.
That's why you get the hat on.
You see, everything's just connected, dude. Everything's just coming together. Yeah. But I mean, there's only a few people bigger than Izzy right now when we talk star power in the UFC. Mm-hmm. So I'm super excited about this. He's coming back in to get his title again. This would have made him a 3-time middleweight champion, right?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. He defended the belt 5 times, I believe it was. He was one of the more active champions, and you gotta love that, dude.
He was so active, dude.
Him and Kamaru Usman were super active. So say what you will about those guys, whether you like them or not, they were active every single year while they were champions, and I absolutely love that. But here we are, Dricus Du Plessis, man, coming in, trying to defend his title. And now let's talk about the drama.
Yeah, the drama. The drama was, he said he's the first African champ, or he's going to become the first African champ, saying that Israel, Kamaru, Francis weren't actually, well, he likes to split the hairs. He knows what he was doing the first time he said it. Later on, he's like, I just mean I'm the first ever to live and train day in and day out in Africa with the belt. I'll be the first African champ. And it became this huge thing, right? South Africa, there's a lot of history there. If you don't know it, I don't want to get into it. But
if you don't know, now you know.
Well, you know half of it. There was a lot of beef. Israel took that to heart, and there was a lot of beef between them. And this was like, 2 Africans fighting, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal.
And then, I mean, leading up to, you see the press conferences, Izzy gets super emotional.
Yeah.
Super emotional in the press conferences. He starts crying. Dricus kind of looks over at him, and when he notices he's crying, did you see the smile on his face?
Yeah, dude. He was stoked.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. It's not good.
It looks like Izzy's going into this overly emotional, right?
He made Sean cry, too.
That's right. Damn, Dricus on a roll.
He does it so casually too.
Hey, y'all be careful.
He says like one thing that he knows will trigger all of your emotions, and then he sits back and smiles while you cry.
He's so evil. I didn't even think about that. He did make Sean Strickland cry.
Yeah.
He's like, tell us about your relationship with your dad. And he's like at
Yeah.
the press conference, you're
And
like, what are you doing, dude? Well, why are we talking about that right now?
And then you look back and Sean's sobbing.
Dude, come on, Dricus. What are we doing? So, yes, a lot of drama. We go into this, right? Izzy starts off switching stances off.
Lots of switches. Yeah.
And I love that there's the feints from Izzy, but then I also like the stutter steps. So he wouldn't just feint. He would stutter step into Dricus and kind of see what kind of footwork Dricus would respond with afterwards. And it's kind of like
footwork?
Yeah. Just catch these hands, dude. Wow.
Well, he was biting on all those feints a lot.
He was.
A ton. Which was what opened up the body shots for Izzy, right? Because every time he would throw a feint or anything, you get that high guard from Dricus, and it's like the body's open, right? For kicks, for the left hook, the liver shot, all that stuff. I mean, classic Izzy, right? Feint. Good movement, peeling off, not straight backwards, all that kind of stuff. And then picking his shots, and then classic Dricus, just plodding forward, running at people. Go back to that picture, Rich. Go back to, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's the epitome of Dricus right there. That's his style.
Please don't hit me. That's what his face looks like right now. He's coming in.
And I mean, he just runs through people, throwing punches like a madman. That's all he does. But it's like he spazzes out at people, but in his head he knows a couple dynamics of that matchup that will work very well for him, and he'll just spam his way through that, or until that opportunity presents itself. He did it against Robert Whittaker. He did it against Sean Strickland. He did it against Darren Till. Like, it looks like he has no clue what he's doing out there, and maybe his body has no clue what his mind is doing, but like, he still does. He's got a sharp mind, you know. He's a champ.
Yeah. And then in the first round, the other red flag that I saw for Izzy, because by the way, I went into this thinking Izzy, let's go Izzy, right? Like, let's get this belt back. I did. Okay. And so in that first round where Dricus was extending his combinations, he ended up landing the last shot of his combos a few times in that first round. I thought to myself, that's not good. As the fight continues going on, if we continue doing this could be really bad. Right?
Yeah, and that's the same reason he had so much success against Sean, is that he doesn't it seems like he does. This isn't the case, but from the naked eye, it looks like he doesn't know any better, so he just keeps throwing when he should say, I've lost this exchange, I'll retreat now, or I'll exit, where most guys would, right? Against someone like Izzy or against someone like Sean Strickland, where Sean Strickland frames off so far and he leans back and then he moves his feet, so those first two punches don't land, and then you're like, shit, I can't reach this guy, and then he's back on his jab. Whereas Dricus says, I don't care if I'm not reaching. I'll just keep throwing until I do reach.
Until something lands. Yeah.
And he does the same thing against Izzy, because Izzy does the same thing. The way he pivots and retreats, people give up mid-combination, and Dricus doesn't. Dricus doesn't care.
So then we get to the second round, and he times a takedown beautifully.
Perfect.
Right? Takes Izzy down. Classic Izzy, though, doesn't accept position, continues scooting back, trying to find the cage, posting up on one of his arms. But Dricus kept on grabbing that wrist, trying to get that wrist control right. What he squeezed? What he squeezed?
Oh, Izzy grabbed the fence like three times.
And he got a warning. He got a warning. He said,
hey,
don't grab the fence. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, okay,
that's why I grabbed it.
Second, bro. Let me get adjusted, And look.
Veteran move.
But Izzy gets back up. And at this point, Dricus starts looking a little gassed. And I thought, oh, no. Maybe he wasted too much energy trying to take Izzy down and keep him down.
Yeah, I thought, look, when he started looking tired, I was like, don't fall for his traps, because he always looks tired. He always fights like he's underwater, and he somehow does it. It defies all logic. He does it. He looks exhausted. He said, I can't breathe. I had to get surgery or whatever so I could actually get more oxygen. He's still gassed the next fight, and he still won. So I was like, don't buy into the fact that he's tired. And then Izzy
I bought into it. I went all in. I was like, he's gassed. All in.
Yeah. I didn't at first. I was like, hold on. Let's see a little bit more. And then Izzy started going to the body so much. And then I was like,
beautiful, left hook he was stepping in with, and the right hook. Oh, so good.
Then I was all in, because I was like,
Well, there was a left-right combo to the body,
Yeah.
and Dricus steps back and he goes,
Yeah.
and takes a deep breath, and that's when I was like, there it is.
Yeah, and lots of kicks to the body.
Yeah.
I mean, just fantastic body work from Izzy, especially because the high guard of Dricus is so much so up there. Also, I really like the uppercut from Izzy, which is a fantastic read if somebody's high guard like that, because you can split it with the uppercut.
And he
But
did
the
it
body
a few
work.
times that he blitzed in. Like in this picture right
Yeah.
here, Dricus putting his head down, coming in with overhand right, overhand left. There's a few times that he'd come in like that, and Izzy would step back and just miss with the uppercut. And I was like, oh, so close.
Yeah, and it's almost like Izzy's striking is good for good strikers, because Dricus, if you go back one picture, Rich, really quick, look how far over his lead leg Dricus is. And it's like maybe he's so out of position that the normal combinations slip him just a little bit, because he's not where people are used to hitting somebody. You know what I mean? Like, at that level, your head should not be there at any point. And it's there every single time. And Izzy's so good at clipping people when they blitz, but normally their head's not that far out in front of them. So maybe that
normally
helps
they're
them.
Mechanically sound, technically sound.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Dricus is just fucking Dricus.
In that second round, you saw, okay, Izzy has the ability to pick this guy apart, but you also saw Dricus has the ability to make this a grueling match if it continues going longer and longer. So you're like, which one's going to play out better? There's that right hook to the body that we were talking about earlier. Just beautiful shots, man.
Yeah, and then, I mean, that third round, I thought Izzy was starting to run away with it. Look at that shot. Come on.
Piecing him up. Look at their spit coming out of Dricus' mouth right there after getting hit on the belly.
Yeah. I mean, beautiful. You feint to get the high guard up, and then you fucking left hook him to the liver, and you make him spit his guts out. I mean, just fantastic work. And that third round, he put it on Dricus, dude. He really put it on him. One of the judges gave it to Dricus, which is hilarious. But
what?
We'll talk more about the judging later.
Oh my god!
And real quick, shout out to Austin for joining the chat. We will definitely be talking about your comments as we finish up here. Fourth round. Again, Izzy looks like he's cracking them, but Izzy's starting to look a little tired.
Starting to fade a little bit. But I was thinking to myself, is it him getting really like faded, his energy getting faded, or there was a couple shots that Dricus landed where his lateral movement, Izzy's lateral movement, seemed a little off all of a sudden.
Yeah,
his equilibrium seemed to be a little off.
Yeah, and Izzy's got a great poker face. He gets hit, and he recovers better than the rest.
And he goes,
he really
shakes his head.
Yeah, but you can see he gets a little bit more in the mud with his feet.
Yes.
You can't help that. You can have the best poker face in the world, but if your body's not being controlled,
so you saw it too.
Universe where DDP won round 3, and I refuse to hear otherwise.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I had Izzy winning round 1, Dricus winning round 2, and then Izzy winning round 3. Round 4, Izzy was looking good, looking sharp, but then Dricus started landing a couple clubbing shots. And this next picture here, this one here, Izzy does this thing where when he gets hurt, it almost seems like he's trying to be too nonchalant. Like he's trying to make you think like, I'm not in danger. But meanwhile, he's like, fuck, but he's like, I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And
he turns his back to him a little bit and kind of just skips away a little bit.
And Dricus did a great job of, a lot of times people will let you get away with that type of shit. Another good example of someone not letting someone get away with it is Benoit Saint-Denis versus Frivola, where Frivola thought he was just going to get up and separate, like everybody lets me, and I'll circle back around, we'll reset. And Benoit said, fuck no, dude, eat this high kick as you fade away. Dricus, same thing. He jabs a couple times, and Izzy thinks like, all right, yeah, I'll just shoulder roll these jabs as I fade away and walk away, and we'll reset. And Dricus is like, no, motherfucker, I'm on you still, dude.
The frustrating part is that this wasn't the first time Izzy did this. In the fourth round, like I said, he got caught a couple times. He did a little thing where he shook his head, turns his, his right shoulder towards Dricus a little bit, and kind of like walks off to reset. And it's like, dude, let's not do this right now. Don't forget.
Yeah, you got to be.
Sean Strickland finished you up against the cage. Don't forget.
Dropped him. Yeah.
Or dropped him, yeah. Don't forget, we also had Poatan finish him when he was up against the cage. It's kind of like the same story. As soon as Izzy starts getting a little lackadaisical and going up against the cage and turning his back a little bit, that's when he ends up getting caught. And so I told you earlier in the first round, I saw him extending these combos and catching him with that last shot. I thought to myself, that's trouble.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy too, because how many comparisons were made of Izzy and Anderson, right, throughout their whole career. And it's like, man, that's how Weidman got him. You just keep throwing. You can't get discouraged on the slips. You can't get discouraged on the first 3 or even 4 punches sometimes that don't land. You cannot slip every punch.
If you remember how shocking that was when Weidman caught him?
Oh my God. I jumped out of my chair.
It was insane.
At that point, I loved Anderson. I love his career still. But at that point, I was starting to root for his opponents because he was so much higher than everybody that I just wanted someone who can beat this guy. I want to see it. And Weidman did it, and I was like,
Weidman beating Anderson. Then it was Ronda losing to Holly Holm.
Yeah, Holly.
Like some of these moments where it's just like,
Shocking.
what? Shocking. Yeah, that was so much fun. Anyways, back to this fight.
Yeah, so he clips him up against the fence. He gets lazy. He falls into him. He trips him, drags him down. Adesanya, like you said, refusing to accept positions on takedowns. He never has. He's always just scrambled his ass off. He turns to his knees, hands on the mat to start standing up. Dricus jumps the back, sinks the choke in. I mean, he tried to do it earlier in the fight, and this is what I meant when he gets the choke. He switches to the gable grip. Izzy has to tap, so he submits him round 4, defends his belt. Shout out Venom for the shorts. Both of them had such cool fucking shorts.
Yeah.
But Dricus, when he fought Rob, everyone was like, oh, he just spammed through Rob. He got lucky. He's clunky. Rob wasn't ready. No, he saw something in the southpaw jab against Rob. I'll power jab him. Bam. Once I drop him, hops to half guard. Elbows. Once he starts defending the elbows, hop on the darts. If he defends the darts, ditch it. More like he knows certain aspects of the fight game for certain opponents. And he said in this fight, Izzy's so hard to keep down. So we thought instead of trying to keep him down, attack him as he gets up.
Yes.
And he tried it earlier in the second round. And he said, I rushed it in the second round, but I didn't rush it in the 4th round. And I mean, fuck, dude. He brute forces his way to these positions that he game plans so effectively for. And he just spazzes his way through until he gets you into that position. It's fucking baffling to watch.
It was very good. It was a quick tap from Izzy, too. As soon as he sunk in, he rolls over. And as soon as he rolled him over, and you saw that look. We've all seen that look, dude, where he's just like, I can't get out of this.
Yeah.
And he taps. And I know that there was all kinds of drama between the two. I thought Dricus handled it very, very well.
I thought they both did.
Yeah. Showed a lot of class. Yeah. And you're absolutely right. I thought Izzy handled it very well also. Couple of awkward moments where they look deeply into each other's eyes in the octagon at the end. Sort of, right?
They kissed.
He kissed his hand and then he was like boop and patted him on the mouth. And that was an awkward moment, but I was really happy that they did this at the end.
Yeah, Austin says, crazy how Izzy could have made a different decision here and possibly made it out of the round. Best part of high-level MMA is how any mistake can lead to a finish in any martial art. Shit's so exciting. Yeah, it's the stuff that it's just shocking, dude. Things like that happen in a split second, and you're just like, oh my God.
All in hindsight, Ryan, looking back, like if you're Izzy, maybe get out of that round, get on your back a little bit, use your jiu-jitsu, and you think I've been piecing him up like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think I could still take this in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Maybe to fight another day.
Yeah, but it's hard to accept that. And it's probably hard to know. It's hard to accept bottom position with 2 minutes left in a round against Dricus, who mauls people when he's on top. If you watch that Darren Till fight, you watch the Robert Whittaker fight, when he gets on top of people, he fucks them up. And it's like, hey, I might be able to survive this round, but even if I do, I might not be the same for the 5th round,
That's very fair, because you're right. Izzy was also getting caught with a couple of those shots. Like, he was piecing up Du Plessis in the 3rd and the 4th round, but Du Plessis was landing some heavy shots, and like you said, his footwork started to change a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, just fucking impressive work from Dricus, dude.
I know.
Very impressive.
There's always that one fight where a champion wins, and you're like, this is it. Like, they're the champion. They are the champion.
Solidified.
100%. And this 100% solidified Dricus Du Plessis. All the champions have that moment. For me,
Mhm.
You know, we think of Volkanovski, for example.
Yeah,
There
when
was
he
a moment
finally put the nail in the coffin.
where he beat Max Holloway down, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, dude, solidified, right?" But man, it could have been such a cool night for City Kickboxing.
It was on a roll, man.
It was
It
on
was
a
well on its
roll.
way.
Yeah, but all good things must come to an end.
Yeah, and things just changed. It's just different, right? Like,
Yeah,
you know, I do personally. I wish Izzy got the belt. I was hoping he got the belt back.
I want to see one more run.
Me too. I mean, he still could. I know he's getting up there in
I
age,
ain't
but
leaving.
yeah, I ain't never gonna stop. But I mean, there's still fun matchups for him in the division. There's the Sean Strickland rematch that could happen potentially
Yeah.
if because they're gonna do Dricus versus Sean is what Dana's saying, at least for now.
No, Boatan
so
said he's gonna go down.
I hope he doesn't. That's the stupidest shit ever, dude. That would
I
piss me
don't
off
know,
so
dude.
much.
He's the boogeyman. Let him do whatever the heck he wants, man.
Yeah, how about fucking actually fight a contender instead of someone ranked 8? I know that's not on him. That's on the UFC.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
don't
say
want
he's
to fault
not
him for that.
matchmaking
Yeah. Well, when he's saying I'm gonna go down after this one,
because
he is.
but they also called him 15 days before his last fight, and he accepted. Right?
True.
He's down to fight anybody that they throw.
No, true. Yeah, that's why I don't want to put it on him, but Khalil getting a title shot over Ankalaev is fucking insane.
This guy was probably wrestling anacondas in the Amazon barehanded when he got the call, and he was like, "Sure, I'll fight Khalil Roundtree."
Yeah,
His
that's weird that
anaconda
you guys
down real
just
quick.
booked Ankalaev a couple days ago instead of booking him with me, but fine.
But fine, whatever, dude.
I see people online who are like, they couldn't have gave it to Ankalaev. He's already booked, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
That's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. He's already booked because they booked him. They could have just not booked him.
Go down, fight Dricus, win the belt, hand it back, and say, "I don't want it anymore." Go back up, fight Khalil Roundtree. He can do it all.
Well, yeah, but
fight Dricus 1 week, and the next week
Dricus,
fight Khalil.
What Dricus said, I do like. He said because someone asked him about, oh, Alex said he's going to go down and fight you, and he's like, that's fine, but like, don't come at me with that bullshit if I beat him. Where that people already say that Izzy beat him because he's depleted at middleweight, and he's like, I don't want him coming down here with a built-in excuse. I'll go up to fight him if we need to do it, but like, I don't want any of that bullshit. If I beat him, people to be like, oh, the weight cut, that's why. And it's like, don't come down here with a preemptive excuse. You know what I mean?
What were to happen if we have Poatan go down, loses to Dricus, and Dricus says, "Hey, you try to come down and get my belt, I'm gonna go up and get yours." And then they rematch at 205.
I hate all of it. Everything that you're saying right now, I hate it so much.
Take my money. That sounds like so much fun.
Oh, I just need to get these fucking divisions along, bro. I need title defenses off of non-rematches. Please.
But it wouldn't be a rematch in 205.
It would be if no, but there's still I also don't like
technicalities, dude.
I also don't like champions moving up and trying for another belt too soon. He just had his first title defense. They're already talking about him moving up. Come on. And then his second
your
title
career's short. You know, go grab that bag.
Or just pay them well enough to where they don't need to do that shit.
There's a budget.
There's a budget. We can't
break the budget, dude.
All the
pay-per-view
money.
How else are we gonna pay all those Apex bangers?
Yeah.
Come on.
We're doing a remodel at the Apex. We can't be
getting we're doing a remodel. New carpet, guys.
They're closing it.
Oh no. All right. Hey, let's move on.
It's gonna be a good 6 months.
25 minutes in.
Yeah.
All right. Austin says, "Does Alex even survive the weight cut again at 40?" Oh, that's
probably. I'll never doubt. Probably, right?
Yeah, the dark arts. The dark arts. Yeah. All right. Let's go cover the co-main event. It was Kai Kara-France, one of the best names in all of mixed martial arts, versus one of the most boring names, Steve Erceg.
What are you gonna do him like that? That's fucked up. I'm just
saying, dude. You go Kai Kara-France and Steve Erceg. You know.
Yeah, but to call it boring, it's rough, dude.
So Kai Kara-France, he'd been away for a minute, right?
Yeah, he kept getting injured, dude. They were supposed to have him fight. What's his name? My boy, Manel Kopp, and then he had to pull out like twice, and then yeah, he's been out for a while. When was the last time he fought? It was Albazi. He got robbed by Albazi in June of last year, so over a year.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Here he is, a picture of him do that weird tongue thing.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. What do you mean weird?
Yeah, Erceg not having any of it. Look at his face. He's so bored.
But look at the dude in the far back. Dude is hyped. He loves it.
Whoever that is. Look at
On the right.
Oh, that's hilarious. So, what do you think of this fight?
Fucking loved it, dude. I like both these guys a lot. So, yeah, I love this. Everything about this fight. I loved the game plan of Kai Kara-France to make it looked like, to most eyes probably, that Erceg was too slick for this guy. Meanwhile, the whole time Kai Kara-France was setting up traps, and it was beautiful. I think he probably even tricked Erceg into thinking it was too slick for him. Because every time he would come forward with the blitz, Erceg's just long guard, framing, footwork getting out of the way, doesn't have to do anything fancy, looks very cool, calm, collected, and then when he's on the front foot, he's tagging him with the jab and stuff. Meanwhile, Kai Kara-France is like, dude, you're not ready for this follow-up shot. You're getting used to this distance on this blitz. You're getting used to this, and you think you're comfortable for when I'm stopping, but check out this left hand, dude. Beautiful, dude. I loved his body work, going to the body to set up the shots up top. I mean, just beautiful. He tricked him with the guard, and he tricked him with the distance. Both things he set up perfectly. And then he just followed up. What did you think? I mean, I thought.
Well, I think that a lot of people that face Kai Kara-France don't expect him to have that freakish power at flyweight.
Dude, he cracks.
He cracks, man.
As my voice cracks when I say it.
Perfect timing. You just don't expect it, right? Seeing Kai Kara-France, because he seems to be somewhat of a smaller flyweight too.
Yeah.
But he packs a punch, man.
Dude, when he hit that overhand on Brandon Royval, oh my god, dude, damn near killed him.
Didn't he also drop a?
Well, Cody
Garbrandt, but yeah, okay. You know, forget I said that.
Monterine also.
There you go.
That was a big one. I mean, he hits hard, dude. And this was nasty, man. He throws that big overhand, that lunging overhand, just to set up the left hand. And same thing, you see Erceg's like, long guard. I'm clean here. I'm fine here. And then he didn't even see that left hand coming. It was fucking awesome.
And it looks like it's just recent where he started actually putting people out with his hands too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. But he's damaging people now, man.
Yeah, he cracks, dude. Austin says maybe it was the recency bias on the hype around his boxing, especially by the commentary, but I thought Erceg was going to have a big striking advantage. He looked good against Pantoja, but Kai said not. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing, dude. It was like after having such a close fight with Pantoja, I think part of what you're saying too with the hype around it and maybe the commentary, like one of it's that, but then also nobody gave him a chance against Pantoja. And then because it was so late, it wasn't. I don't think it was late notice, but it was just like so far down the rankings. He's barely even in the UFC. I think he got the title shot off of knocking out Matt Schnell, from what I remember.
Dangerous.
And then yeah, and fucking Matt Schnell, dude. But seems so like because he seems awesome. But the expectations were so low for Erceg going into the title fight, and then he showed out so hard in that title fight that I think because the expectations were so low, the expectations then skyrocketed. Whereas if he like really worked his way through the rankings and then got to Pantoja and had a good fight, everyone wouldn't be like there was like a surprise factor that added to the hype almost. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, for sure.
And then Kai said, "I don't care, dude. I've been here. I've done that." And here's that overhand that he throws. And then, bam, the left hand comes up from the hip as Erceg thinks he's done with the combination.
Boom, right on the chin.
And just flatlines him, dude. Drops him. He just like a tree, dude. Felt like a tree. And then he got him right back up. Crazy, dude.
Good fight.
There was no other photos. Hilarious photo. I had to put this one in besides just the decision being read just because the security
guard. They're doing the background too?
Looks like he lost a ton of money on this one. No, dude, he's pissed. This motherfucker cost me my parlay.
It's all right. You would have lost it with Izzy anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But all right. I mean, he drops him. Erceg gets back up, gets him up against the fence. He drops him again. They call the fight. I mean, just fucking great work by Kai Kara-France. I love that they put the flyweights in the co-main too, by the way. They could have easily put Rozenstruik versus Tai Tuivasa as the co-main, especially because they're in Australia and they're heavyweights.
Yeah.
That was the wrong move. I'm glad they didn't, but I am surprised that they didn't do that.
I'm very glad they didn't.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else on this fight was a quick one.
Austin says Erceg had his hand up to block too, which is kind of crazy. But Kai legit just perfectly plays the right in front of the guard, landed right on the cheek. Nasty and slow-mo. Yeah, I mean, he got comfortable with that long guard, dude. Was not expecting that left hand to come up around it. It's beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
All right, man. We'll move on. We also had another city kickboxing athlete. We had Dan Hooker versus Mateusz Gamrot.
Yeah, fucking hell, man. Goddamn. What a fight, dude.
Hooker, dude. Oh, my God.
It's like they knew, dude. Look at this stare down. They knew.
They're ready. They're ready. Also, DC, one of the best things he said all night, he said Dan Hooker looks like a created character from the UFC game because he has like the generic tattoo on his chest, the blonde hair. You know he does. Look at him, dude.
People are shitting on Dan Hooker for the tattoos. I like them. Let them do it, dude. I think they look sick.
I like them too. That's why I put them on my character in UFC.
Yeah. But one thing too, DC also said something hilarious earlier in the night where he was like, he legitimately thought city kickboxing was in Australia. And then Anik was like, what? And he was like, it's not in Australia? And they're like, it's New Zealand. And he's like, what? This whole time? And he's like, I'm not a geography major, but it's like, bro, what are you doing, dude?
That's awesome.
What are you doing?
Well, hey, starts off something from Hooker, multiple stance switches from him as well.
Really quick, what did you think was going to happen in this fight going into it?
I thought you Gamrot was going to lay and pray.
100%. I thought Gamrot takes him down.
Lay and pray.
Yeah, I thought Dan Hooker, everyone always says, oh, his knee is such a good counter to the takedowns. Never lands it on the takedown. We got to stop saying it. Everybody says it every single fight. Not going to happen. It never happens. And I was like, dude, Gamrot's going to take him down at will. And he's going to.
He did in the first round. He took him down.
He's going to out-control him. As soon as he took him down, I was like, no. Here we go. Dan Hooker said, fuck you. I'm not accepting this.
I know,
also,
dude.
Just fucking great game planning from Dan Hooker. Like you said, he opens up, stance switching a ton. The kicks to the body where I get where he's coming from. I think that's probably not the greatest move. He did get some good ones off, but he also got taken down like 3 times off of his kicks. Not the greatest technique against a wrestler that you know is going to want to take you down.
He wasn't worried.
Wasn't worried because his get-ups were fantastic. But then also because of there's 2 factors, I think. Because the threat of the takedown is so high, we say it all the time, it elevates the wrestler's striking because the other striker is now worried about getting taken down. They don't want to get too careless. They get tuned up a little bit. Gamrot's hands, fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially early in the fight, had magnets in him, dude. He was cracking Dan Hooker.
Yeah, and then Hooker cracked Gamrot in that first round too. Yeah, Gamrot has a high guard on here. I know Austin had mentioned how Kai Kara France was able to get past Erceg's high hand, and Hooker did that to Gamrot too, and caught him like right on top of his head, like right above his temple, and had him on skates for a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Had him up against the fence, had him hurt, dropped him for a second, just like a quick knockdown to a knee maybe, and then back up. I did also, one of the things that I think lended itself to the success, or lended Gamrot to have the success with the hands was, I don't know if you picked up on this, maybe this was in my head, but a lot of Dan Hooker's punches were like either shovel hooks or like uppercuts, or he was throwing from like below his shoulders, his punches. And I think part of that is because he didn't want Gamrot to be able to duck under his punches and enter on takedowns. Yeah, so he was like, I'm fine hitting you in like the chest or the shoulders or the neck. I'm hoping you come down to my punches. But because of that, Gamrot was able to throw that overhand over the hands of, or over the arms of Hooker a lot. And I think maybe that's why he had a lot more success also. Part of it obviously was the threat of the takedown, but then also I think Hooker's offense was so low that he was able to come over the top and tag him. And it lended itself to being a fucking awesome fight because I did not expect Gamrot to start piecing up Dan Hooker on the feet in this fight.
Yeah. He
also, this was awesome.
Cuts up Dan Hooker. And then I think it was in between the second and third round where Hooker, oh man, he looks over at his corner and he goes, hey, I love this shit. The way he says it.
He's like, hey guys. It was literally like, what's the Paul Rudd meme, dude, where he's like,
hey, look at us.
Yeah, he literally, they're like, hey man, you're getting too aggressive with this, you're getting this and this. And he's like, hey guys, hold on. I have a picture of him cracking up in the corner as they're tending to his cuts, his open wounds, and he's cracking up, dude. He's like, I love this shit. It's
Oh,
so
it's so
awesome, dude.
good, dude. It's so good. But it
Yeah.
like even after that, like I saw it and I was like, let's go. Like I was so pumped. He stands back up. He starts getting the crowd all pumped. Oh
Meanwhile,
my God.
Anik ruins the moment. Absolutely ruins the moment. Guillotine defense was fantastic too. But
Yeah.
they follow them to the corner. He's all stoked. They'll look at me, look at us guys. I love this shit. He starts hyping up the crowd, and it goes, I just want to let you guys know the judge from the previous fight that gave Tuivasa 30-27 has been relieved of his duties, and DC's the round's starting now. We should be all hyped for this fight and fucking in the moment. And DC's like, oh, that's crazy. Have they done that before? I can't think of the last time. And Dominic Cruz is like, that's a good kick by Hooker to start the round, like trying to get him back into the fight. It's like,
hilarious. Dude. Hey, but you know what? I'll take that. They got us information. I'd rather that than him like Toyo Tires, the official tire of the UFC.
True. It is better than that, but that's a low bar. We could wait till after the fight to talk about that. You know
I had a choice.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look at this shit. Look at him cracking up, dude. That's not him screaming in pain. That's him laughing.
Yeah.
The guy he turned into a madman in this fight. And Izzy talks about.
That's a little bit of a psycho moment, no? The way he laughed.
Dude, he's maniacal, dude. Izzy talks about how he's like, dude, look, we're all fighters and stuff, but Dan Hooker especially, there's something in that man that like he literally likes inflicting pain and being in there. And part of that is Austin says the photo is hilarious. It looks like they're eye torturing him. It literally looks like those scenes in movies where they torture a soldier and he just like laughs in their face to piss him off even more. But another thing that DC said is in the third round, Gamrot got another takedown and was grinding him up against the fence. And they're talking about the tenacity of Gamrot. And DC said he doesn't just try to beat the man that's in front of him, but he tries to take their fighting spirit. And when he said that, I was like, good fucking luck, dude. No one's taking this fighter spirit from Dan Hooker, dude. It's not happening. Edson Barboza couldn't when he was swinging baseball bats at his belly, dude. You just cannot take it. He's a savage, dude. He's a legitimate psychopath.
Yeah, and it's made him extremely fun to watch.
I know people don't like the way he talks trash and some of this stuff, but like every single time he fights, it's a banger, dude. I fucking love Dan Hooker, dude. He's a savage. TV. I mean, this was a refusal to accept positions. The guillotine, the ninja choke off the takedown was fantastic. Hilarious that it worked against Gamrot, especially because he trains with his striking has gotten better because he trains with Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier's anti-wrestling has gotten better because he trains with Gamrot. The fact that he was so susceptible to guillotines on takedown entries when he trains with Dustin Poirier is so funny. Maybe that's why Dustin does it in every fight, because he gets Gamrot with it all the time. And he's like, it will work. It works in the gym all the time against Gamrot.
He's never going to stop.
Yeah.
Fucking good stuff, though, man. What a good fight.
What a fight, dude. What a fight. Split decision, I think, right? Did Gamrot get it on one card, I think? I don't remember.
Yes. It was a split decision.
It was close, man.
It was really close. But I think the right person won.
Yeah. And then he just went off in the interview. He's fucking crazy. I don't know if I've seen
again. Just uncontrollably like a Joker.
Dude, moment, I don't know if I've seen somebody so just visibly on an adrenaline high like that. I mean, just fucking in its purest form. That's a man who enjoys this shit. Like, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Props to Dan Hooker, though.
And props to Gamrot. I think he was pissed. Everyone thought this was going to be a boring fight. He was like, I can crack too, guys. I'll be excited.
And what, Gamrot was 5th?
Ranked number 5, man. He got passed up for a title shot, in my opinion, too. I feel bad for the guy.
Nice.
I don't know if he gets back there. Yeah.
All right. You want to move on?
Good stuff. Yeah, but like you said, this was the start of like, oh, this is Hooker beat the wrestler, and then Kai Kara-France gets the knockout in the first round. And you're like, is it kickboxing? And Izzy's starting to get on the roll in the third round, and you're like, oh my god,
what a night for City Kickboxing, or morning for them over there.
Yeah,
all right,
morning.
We'll cover the fight before that. We had somebody else from New Zealand. We had Tuivasa, beloved by everybody whenever he fights, especially over in Australia. People love him over there too, against Jairzinho, Rozenstruik.
Yeah, I think he's Australian, I thought, right? I don't think he was New
Is
Zealand.
he Australian? I thought he was from New Zealand.
I think he's Australian. West Sydney,
Well,
yeah. It's got to be, right?
That makes so much sense as to why the crowd goes nuts every single time he walks out in Australia.
Yeah. Also,
wait, you mean City Kickboxing isn't in Australia?
Yeah, this fight was tough, man, for so many reasons. I actually really liked it. I've been a Rozenstruik doubter. I don't want to say a hater because I don't think I feel strongly enough to be a hater on him, but I don't always get excited for his fights, if I'm being honest. And I mean that with no disrespect. He's very good. And usually the fights that he loses are very exciting, but the fights that he wins are kind of like a technical heavyweight fight, which generally is horrible to watch because heavyweight is heavyweight. But I really like this fight. What did you think about this?
It wasn't bad. To your point, Rozenstruik seemed a lot more patient in this fight. He's known to kind of bum rush some opponents and hoping that one of his big shots land. The right hand is extremely dangerous. But I see Rozenstruik and I always think to myself, like, man, can he fight 205? Like, is that something he can actually do? Because I think he'd be a solid 205er. Look, going up against opponents like a Tuivasa, who's not the most technical fighter, you don't have to worry about takedowns very much. You could just focus on your kickboxing. Okay, but you start going up against some of the top heavyweights in the division, like it's a tough go for Rozenstruik. I'd love to see him move out of that division if he can. I just don't know how feasible that is.
Yeah, and I thought Ty did a good job of trying to just bite down on the mouthpiece and put it to him. But
when he finally started doing that, he started landing some more shots. He had a really hard time finding his range, missing the leg kick a lot.
Well, that's because Rozenstruik was just piecing him up, man. That jab, dude. That he had a cracking jab the whole fight. Every time Ty came through, he just gets fucking lit up. And he tried. To his credit, he fucking tried, dude. There was one time where he kicked him in the leg and maybe broke his foot. Rozenstruik came in there with the combo, and he was like, fuck. Yeah, I hate this. It was the opposite of Dan Hooker. He was like, I don't want to be in here right now, but I guess I have to. And then he would keep going. So props to Ty. But yeah, Rozenstruik was just so clean and so defensively sound for the most part. And he just he was on. Rozenstruik was on. That was an on performance. Look at that punch to the fucking throat, dude.
Rough. But yeah, and then Austin says we need to talk about the scorecard for Tai Tuivasa.
The fact that they removed the judge from any more fights for the rest of the night is nuts. Once again, one scoring superior. Yeah, I do love the one scoring system, especially for MMA, scoring as a whole. This is not that. I don't know what the fuck that guy was watching. I have the stats up in the slideshow. So that's the scorecards. Howie Booth gave it 30-27 to Ty, said he won all 3 rounds. Whereas David Lethbay gave a 30-27 to Rozenstruik. Charlie Keech, I don't think you can give the first round to Ty, but whatever, I guess. At least you got the right guy winning. Ultimately, that's what matters. Yeah. And we can look at the stats here for rounds 1, 2, and 3. So round 1, 19-9.
Yeah.
At a higher percentage.
So lopsided.
36-13 at a higher percentage. And round 3 was Ty Tuivasa at 15, Rozenstruik at 36. So
corruption at its finest.
Horrible.
Talk about a parlay.
Horrible. I mean, just absolutely horrible. And they pulled him from the card. He was supposed to judge the Kai Kara France fight. Ultimately, that wouldn't have mattered. But the fact that they pulled him is very good to see. The only time I could think they did it in China once, I think. They pulled a judge. Horrible.
More often though.
Accountability. Yeah. And how about this, man? How many judges do they have at the events? Like 5, 6?
Rotating.
Have them judge every fight. Don't rotate. Have them all judge every fight. Give me, if you're not going to do, I would like to see 9. I think there should be 9 judges judging every single fight, but even 5 would be better because when someone has some batshit scorecard like this, it ultimately won't matter. Just at least give us 5. Why not?
Yeah.
Why don't you just give us 5? It's horrible.
True. But that was it for that fight. That was probably the most exciting thing out of everything in that fight that happened was the wacky scorecard.
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
It's tough for Ty, man. I think this is what's his streak now, dude.
Not good.
I love the guy, but at one point he was. If he beat Cyril Gane, he would have fought John Jones for the title.
Lost to Rozenstruik, lost to Tybura, lost to Volkov, lost to Pavlovich, lost to Gane.
And outside of this last one, the other 4 were all finishes.
He just caught lightning in a bottle, huh? He beat
really
Struve,
did, man.
Beat Hunsucker, beat Hardy, beat Sakai, beat Lewis, and everybody was like, "Holy smokes, he's moving up in the ranks. Hits the top 5 in heavyweight." Yeah, it was crazy.
Dude, look, if he beat Cyril Gane in that fight, he would have fought. It would have been him versus John Jones instead of Cyril Gane versus John Jones. That would be crazy. That's insane.
Crazy. You thought the Cyril Gane fight was easy for John Jones?
Honestly, Ty probably would have lasted longer than that.
You think so?
You think he would have got taken down immediately and choked within like 45 seconds or whatever that was?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Austin says, bro, I think he's a decent dude, but I'm happy he keeps losing because if I have to see a shoe drink again, I'll vomit.
The shoey. Come on, the shoey classic. Man. All right. Is this the last fight we're going to cover? Yeah.
Yeah, we're just doing the main card tonight.
Now, this one, I was excited to see Li Jingliang making his return.
I was excited to see Prates. I think Prates is maybe he's quickly becoming one of my favorite fighters to watch. Not just from this fight, but he is special.
You weren't excited to see the Leech?
I mean, I was excited to see him, but not nearly as excited as I was
seen the Leech.
It's been a while, dude. He broke his back, did he not?
He lost to D-Rod. And this was
they fucked him over with that one.
September 2022, dude.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I think he broke his back and had to have surgery on it and stuff.
Oh my god,
it was tough. But Prates, meanwhile, is the future, dude. He's the truth. Who did he knock out his last fight? He knocked out Rad. Dude, that Radke knockout was insane, dude. Where he feints him high, raises the guard, and then bam, steps through with the knee to the body. Oh my god, when he did that shit, I was like, this guy
with the straight left, and Radke knee to the body, now left hook.
Tell me his last decision win, huh?
Holy smokes. It's all the way down in 2019, it looks like.
Sure was.
Wow.
That's crazy. And he hasn't lost since before that. He lost in 2019. He hasn't lost since. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fight winning streak. 1 decision in that 12 fight win streak. This guy is nasty.
Crazy. That's
absolutely nasty. This looks
great,
like
Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Crisp striker, right? His hands are so fast. So fast. And
I just want to apologize to the Leech for the slideshow. It's a rough one.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that Li Jingliang expected him to be as fast as he was.
Dude, he's so fast and his range is and the Leech is so good at slipping punches. He always has that lean back slip counter style. He's very good at dodging punches, and he could not, dude. He just couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the spine injury or what, but Prates just fucking lit him up on the end of everything. High kicks,
like
knees to the body. It was like when you play. It's like I would imagine if Rich, gets somebody. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll teach you how to play Street Fighter," and then they've never played before. So Rich shows like just one match open, like this is where you can be. And it's just like, I don't know what's happening. I can't get one thing off. That's what it seemed like.
Not against me, but
it seems like when you give the second controller to like your little brother and you just fuck him up.
Yeah.
It was bad, dude. It was really bad.
Poor Li Jingliang, dude.
I mean, just great feints, great long punches, great distance management.
How about this, bullshit. In the second round, right as he's landing some shots, it's almost close to the time he ended the fight. They mentioned he was at a 75% land rate at that time.
That's insane, dude.
For the entire fight.
And that seems low.
5%.
That seems low to me. It seemed like everything he was throwing was landing. And what I loved, he drops him, and he just stands there, still in stance, not even going to entertain anything. No bullshit, no kicks to the leg, no standing over him for a little bit.
Just back up.
Yeah, just, no, dude, this is working. I'm fucking this guy up. He
so
is
good.
Dangerous, dude. Dangerous.
A lot of fun.
And at welterweight, dude, what the Leech guy? This has to be close to the top 15, right?
Oh, he has to be.
Give me Kevin Holland versus this guy, huh?
Come on. What are we doing?
Kevin Holland's number 15. Give me that. I want that.
Wow. I like that. Actually.
I want that, dude. Come on.
All right. Well, I think that was it.
Yeah, I mean, it's quick. There wasn't really much to talk about. It was so one-sided. I feel bad for the Leech because he was out. It was a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moment of silence for anything else outside of the Leech.
Yeah. Moment of silence. There was only a couple. I do want to give a shout out to Casey O'Neill was supposed to fight Teresa Bleda. She withdrew, so Casey O'Neill fought Luana Santos instead. Beat her up over 3 rounds. Looked fantastic. Did the ray gun Olympic breakdancing.
Oh, I respect that. I respect that. Actually, I saw that.
Yeah.
Pretty good too. She did a little thing where she goes from side to side, and that was pretty accurate.
Yeah. Jack Jenkins was supposed to fight Gavin Tucker. Gavin Tucker withdrew, so instead Jack Jenkins fought Herbert Burns and beat the piss out of him. Oh my god. Yeah. Very good performance by Jack Jenkins. And then he
got the good genes, huh? In that family.
God.
Rough.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Second time Herbert Burns has lost by refusing to get up. It's tough.
Very tough.
Yeah. But that's the moment of silence. Only 2 fights.
How about bonuses?
Yeah, bonuses. Kai Kara-France gets one for the first round knockout. Title shot maybe for Kai Kara-France?
I mean, he plays his cards right.
It's either that or him versus Kai Asakura. Battle of the Kais. Carlos Prates also got a bonus for his knockout. And then fight of the night, obviously, was Jairzinho Rozenstruik. It was Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Obviously.
Best fight of the card.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. All right. What do we have going on next week?
Real quick, I wanted to talk about Craig Jones Invitational.
Yeah.
Not going to cover the whole thing, even though it definitely deserves its own episode because it was so fucking awesome. For anybody who doesn't know, ADCC was also this weekend. Craig Jones said, fuck ADCC. You're still paying people $10,000 to win. I'm going to give everybody $10,000 just to enter. Winner of each bracket in the weight class gets $1 million. Pretty great.
How do they pay for this?
He got some shadow figure. Who knows? You never know with Craig Jones. You never know what the fuck he's talking about. If it's he's just so jokey. You just never know what's real. But he's got some guy who's bankrolling it. And he's like, yeah, dude, it's fucking awesome. This guy wants to pay it. And it's like, hell yeah, it's a nonprofit. And
oh my God.
Everybody's pissed because he did it the same weekend as ADCC. And he's like, everyone's like, you could have done it another weekend. You're like purposefully taking them down by doing this. And he's like, yeah, dude, that's on them. That's the whole point of this. Joe Rogan was like, well, maybe it's a nonprofit. They don't make a profit, so they can't pay people anymore. And he's like, they didn't have to fucking pay for the T-Mobile arena. You know, why'd they move from the Thomas and Mack arena? They moved from this to the T-Mobile arena. And it's like, Joe refuses. He's like, if they don't make a profit, how could they pay more? It's like, well, if you cut production costs, then there's money that you save that you could then give to the fighters. Yeah. Craig Jones is like, we'll just take Thomas and Mack, the smaller arena, and we'll just use the money we're saving to pay people. They make more money. 2 divisions, under 80 kilograms, over 80 kilograms. Brackets are fucking stacked because everybody at ADCC was like, I'm going to do that instead. And automatically make as much as I'm going to make if I win ADCC. And if I win this, I make $1 million. One championship let Kade and Kade Ruotolo both compete in it. Mikey Musumeci was supposed to have a super fight, but the opponent pulled out, so they never made it happen. Fionn Davies versus Mackenzie Dern was a super fight. Craig Jones went against Gabby Garcia in a super fight. It was they auctioned off or they raffled off Gordon Ryan's fucking Miata. Like, it was crazy, dude. It was crazy. They also did, to make it more interesting for MMA fans who don't normally watch grappling, 3 rounds, 3 5-minute rounds, 10-9 scoring system, just to make it more like easier of a transition. Kade Ruotolo. Oh my fucking God, dude. First day, he takes on Denise. Fantastic match. And then He takes out Tommy Langacre, who they've already faced. He fought and won in grappling. And then this fight. This is what I wanted to talk about specifically. Kade Ruotolo, Andrew Tackett. Legitimately, it's probably recency bias. One of the best grappling matches I've ever seen. Immediately they start and they're hip tossing. They're taking backs off the hip tosses. Their submission attempts. They have the walls like Karate Combat. They call it the alley. And they're using that. Andrew Tackett built one in his gym, so he's been like training off of it and shit. And he's doing flips off of it and shit. And they're rolling for leg locks. They're fishing for guillotines. It was insane, dude. The pace of this match, the scrambles in this match was fucking insane. Watching the bracket unfold, they were on the same side, and when Tackett took out Nicky Ryan, I was like, why aren't these guys on opposite ends of the bracket? Because I want this to be the finale. They had Kade Ruotolo on the other bracket, and he got subbed, or he didn't get subbed. He lost a decision against the guy that Kade ended up fighting in the finale. Levi, fuck, I can't think of his name right now. Levi Jones-Leary, fantastic guard player. And then the finale was very good, but this match in particular was just fucking balls to the wall. I was kind of skeptical of letting their guys come and do this, because it's not like the UFC where they let fighters go do grappling tournaments, because if they lose that, it's like, okay, they didn't lose an MMA match, who cares? Yeah. But when you have a jiu-jitsu champion competing in jiu-jitsu outside of your organization, that's a little dicey at that point. If they lose, it puts into question the authenticity of that belt, right? Kade said, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'm buzzing through all these people. Crazy work rate. And then a very good competitive match in the finale. But your boy got it done. Secured the $1 million. Fucking awesome. But yeah, if anybody hasn't seen, it's free on YouTube. They stream the whole thing on YouTube. Kade Ruotolo versus Andrew Tackett specifically is fucking amazing. Anybody who says jiu-jitsu is boring needs to watch this shit, because it was amazing. Austin says, so kind of a segue, but am I crazy for thinking this event is going to help out one's grappling product potentially? If I'm Chatri, I'm signing the standout stars from this event ASAP. The potential is huge. 100%. I was thinking the exact same thing. It's a feeder league, because these guys can't do this every year. They can't do it all year, I should say. They're going to do this, I think, yearly now. The Craig Jones Invitational.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so good, dude. The production quality was fantastic. The matches were super exciting. Kade Ruotolo had a match against Jason Nolf, a wrestler, and that fight was like a fight at one point. They're jockeying for like single collar ties, and it turns into them legitimately just piecing each other up. And they're trying to hit leg sweeps and stuff, and they're just throwing calf kicks at each other. It was crazy. They got warned at a certain point because they were just fucking smacking the shit out of each other.
That's awesome.
It was sick. It was super cool.
That's good stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of these.
Yeah, it was very fun. It was very, very fun. Shout out all them for doing that shit.
Awesome, man. Well, what's next week?
Next week, what do we got?
Fight Night Cannonier versus Bohalio.
Dick, are we back at the Apex?
Looks like
Where
it.
Is that? Yeah.
Venue UFC Apex.
Here's what I hope happens. I hope Jared wins. No disrespect, but I hope Jared wins, and I would love to see Jared Cannonier versus Dricus Du Plessis for the belt. I don't want to see the Sean rematch. I don't care about that. I think Sean should earn another title shot. Losing the belt and sitting out should not get you a title shot. Dana says, you know what I say about guys who sit and wait? It's that if you like them, then they get a title shot still.
Yeah.
But I think he should fight a contender. He ducked Robert Whittaker, and that should have been the number one contender fight, in my opinion. Didn't happen. Cannonier is up there. I think he'll win here, and it's lined up. They're a week apart, so turnaround time is the same for both guys. That's the move. Angela Hill versus Tabitha Ricci is the co-main event. That's
Michael Morales is going to be back in there against Neil Magny. Another Daykeeper matchup, huh?
Edmund versus Gerald Mearshart, huh?
Wow.
But yeah, Neil Magny versus Morales is the epitome of a Daykeeper.
Yeah, is he ready to crack into the top tier there?
Yeah. This fight card is made up of fights that would be great as like undercard fights on like bigger cards if you spread them across like 6 events, and instead they just put them all on this card, because Ryan
Zach
Loder
Reese is
versus
fun to watch.
Valentin. Who's that?
Zach Reese.
Yeah, I mean that's a good one. Danny Silva versus Bazukia. Bazukia is fucking awesome. Slava Claus is back on here. I mean, this is Josian Nunez hits hard as fuck. This is a very fun card of like, this is the perfect like feeder league card. If the UFC had like a prospects division or like
a contender series.
No, because also shout out this week's contender series. The boy, shout out Danny Phillips. One of the guys. You remember Danny Phillips?
Yeah, of course.
One of the guys who trains with Billy Brand is on the contender series this weekend or this week.
Nice.
So shout out to Billy Brand. Hopefully he gets one. Fought Peyton Talbot back in the day and went to war with him before Peyton was in the UFC. So yeah, interesting stuff this week.
All right. Well, hey, shout out Austin. Thank you for joining us live. I know that it was later than usual, but you're a real one. You showed up, and I appreciate you joining us in the conversation. A lot of fun covering UFC 305. And please, friendly reminder, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Trying to reach at 15,000. We already broke 14,000, almost there. And, of course, you can find us in other places, right, Will?
Yeah, Story of the Fight on everything. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, storyofthefight.com. It's all there. Easy, breezy.
Yes. And for anybody that's wondering, who produces this show? It's Richard Bustos, in case everybody was wondering. There it is. Everybody, thanks for joining us for another week of Story of the Fight.